Hello, welcome back. Another week, new background, and this is the winter break. So I'm out here in Caltech. No green screen. Right here is the auditorium, and we're back in the home state. So back in Cali, and really, I think probably, yeah, I think the semester starts like mid-January. So we'll be back in the great state of Oklahoma. That's a joke, but we'll be back there probably January. And now this next month is quite big. I mean, it's the end of the year, so it's the end of the year. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty confident. This week we gained around 2%. Nasdaq lost around 2%, so that's the -1 beta coming into play there. And we're, as you can see, really, if I go back to, let's go here. You can see there's kind of been right now a you're right here, a consolidation, or we've been stabilizing pretty well for the past a long time, like 3 weeks probably. And it's good because I haven't lost more, and I could have lost more, and so I was able to prevent that, which is great. And now it's kind of just waiting for it to start to drop. I'm just waiting. Nasdaq had a good drop on Friday, and Thursday was also a bit volatile. We had the Fed, and the Fed cut as expected, and really, we were basically at all-time highs. So what do you expect to go like 3% higher? Like, really, that's not going to happen. So it did drop around 2%, and on Thursday we did hit a peak of -20%. So I was pretty happy about it. I thought we were going to end the week below -20, only -19.5 or something like that, but we ended up going back, and then it did a V, and it fell back a bit. So we're right now at -22. You could easily be on Monday at -19 though, so it really depends. And it's just waiting for that 1 to 2 weeks where it just free falls, And I'm not talking about the market really, but I'm talking about these stocks where it's kind of doing nothing for like 3 weeks, and then out of nowhere it just starts to drop, and you don't know when that's going to happen. So you kind of just have to wait, and during that waiting time you also have to prevent more losses. So you want to sell if you have to, and I think it's coming soon. So whenever it comes, it'll come, hopefully. And easily in a week we could be back at -15. That could easily happen. Right, we're pretty close to being at it's not that far from, we're not that far from -15, even though we've been kind of stalling here for a bit. We're not that far from it. Right now we're at 2% gain this week. You can see Nasdaq finally had a dip. It was close to all-time highs. SPY did hit new all-time highs, but Nasdaq didn't quite get there. And so right now you can see we're slowly moving back up. Just dip and then back up, dip and back up. And it's kind of just been like that for a while, and I'm hoping to finally get that big reversal in and start going back up. And time will tell, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen quite soon. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. Just gotta wait. And over here, so here you have 2% on the week, and we were close to outperforming 60% of days. Nasdaq -1.9, and overall 43.6. And so right now we're at -22, and Nasdaq's at 7. And really, Nasdaq could lose that quite easily. I've seen it lose, in a week, probably like 6%. It could happen. You don't know when it could happen, but it could. If you get some bad news on whatever, or just mediocre news, that could trigger a sell-off. You already had a 2% dip on Oracle delaying. Well, I mean, Oracle and Broadcom, their earnings both dropped. You had around like a negative, 17% for Oracle, or 14%, and then Broadcom also fell like 10%. So I was happy about that going down, because I was expecting them to drop after earnings. So that really kind of helped push us up a bit higher. I thought it would have pushed us up more, but it's okay, because that's really the narrative that I need. If they would have started going higher, then I would have probably had to close my position. So I'm happy about that. And as a SPY hit new all-time highs, and then it dipped. We had the Fed on Thursday, cut the rates, and kind of easing, I guess you could say, started. But I mean, really, it was all basically priced in on that day. And we did have I was surprised because, SPY was kind of green on that day. It was borderline. And a lot of other bad stocks, like, a lot of cheap, overvalued, high beta stocks ended quite red on that day. So I was happy that they're finally not really, there's signs of losing correlation, in that it's not really holding up as well, and that's what I want to see. And so if I keep getting signs on that, then eventually there's going to be a dip. And if it takes, it really could just take 1 or 2 weeks, and we could be back at -10. It sounds kind of like crazy right now, but that could happen. So, just gotta wait. SPY did -0.58, not as bad as NASDAQ, but we did outperform 60% of days for SPY. So on this week, overall increased it a bit, almost 45. And SPY is at 10.5. So NASDAQ and SPY are almost the same right now. Actually, SPY is outperforming NASDAQ by a bit. Pretty sure, right? Let's see. Yeah, by a little. And then we got the Dow. So Dow was quite interesting this week. It really was quite strong against, it's kind of like a hedge against all the AI stuff. Kind of was pushing to new all-time highs. Gained 1.11% this week, so impressive for the Dow. It's still underperforming. It's still the most underperforming. But, if you get into not a bear market, but if you get into like a serious 10% pullback, the Dow could probably be on top. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then here you got everything. So you can see the Dow retreating. Everything kind of retreated on Friday. And yeah, it's fine. Transaction costs decreased, so that's great. Or I guess increased, -0.28. Nice. And then here you have each day. So I like this week because it was as volatile. You can see Wednesday was a good gain. Then Thursday was kind of like, right? Wednesday was the Fed day. And then Thursday was like, kind of lost a little of that. And then Friday we gained a little back. Monday, Tuesday were just not much because really everyone was waiting for the Fed. And that's, and then we got the news. Profitable green days. So we didn't have that many green days this week, but they were fine because we barely lost on the red days. So that decreased my my average red day or average negative day like percentage. 50% of profitable trades. The current trade I'm in is quite up right now. It's quite green, so that's good. So this would probably increase to like 53. So here we see the losses did decrease by quite a bit from last week, -2.43 right now, and then the gains are 2.53. So our ratios did improve. Standard deviation consequently also decreased, which is great. And then SPY's kind of been in that weird range, same thing. And so our ratios did get better from last week. You can see we gained a 0.04 on the difference, and our standard deviation is decreased by a good amount. So kind of want to keep that trajectory. However, if we have to go up to, if we're at -10 and our standard deviation increases, well, that's kind of has to happen. It doesn't have to, but it most likely will, just how volatile the stocks are, but it is what it is. Mean transactions, so 0.33. Day trades, I haven't done any. I think I did last 2 weeks ago, maybe one, but yeah, barely any. Current beta, so beta is decreasing. We're almost at that 1 range, which is quite weird, we're -20 and SPY's up 7 and we almost have the same data. So that's why kind of beta is a weird measure, but it is how it is what it is. I want to try to get this to 0. That's my goal. And if I get this to 0, the overall beta in the portfolio was probably quite negative, probably like -1.3 or something. But yeah, that's kind of the goal, and we'll see how it goes. Current alpha, so that doesn't really matter because we're negative or underperforming, so it's going to be negative. And here we have the overall portfolio, so -22.03. Strong week. We would have had our best week in a while if we would have closed around -20. I think we would have had like a 4% increase on that week. So we would have had the best week in like, I don't know, long time. So I'm happy that their signs are coming. I'm hopeful, and really just gotta wait and see. Every day there's some random headline come up and something could happen. But I still remain overall bearish, and it's been doing pretty well. I think I started this position. I think really on my shorts I'm probably neutral right now. So it's kind of just been, on my shorts I've been neutral at the moment. Like on everything considered. The only thing I've lost was that long trade I did which lasted quite a long time. And yeah, so before the year ends, I think we only got like 3 more weeks or something, and then New Year starts. And I'm excited. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you next week. And hopefully we're not in the negative 20s, which I'm pretty confident we won't be, but we'll have to see that. Bye.